I'm a little skeptical of talking about this book. I am. Did I find my 5 star in the month of May? Hello everyone, this is Simran. Welcome back to my channel. Well, firstly, thank you so much for all the love and support that you showered upon my very first YouTube long video. Pleasantly surprised by the fact and taken aback a little bit that people really appreciated and acknowledged my presence in this platform as well, which I didn't actually expected. Therefore, I have come up with a new video, which is all the books that I read in the month of May, which is May wrap up. As we are heading towards June and I'm planning all my June TBR, I decided to also sit and talk about all the books. Did I find my 5 star in the month of May? There are two books which were like very close to my heart. I am still not sure if I'd rate either or at least one of them a 5 star. But the first book that I'm talking about is The Lighthouse Family. The Lighthouse Family by Fred Sunel is about a family set in the outskirts of Turkey who are assigned to be there, guard the lighthouse, and do all the necessities around the lighthouse while the World War II was hitting home. We follow a protagonist named K. K as in the K alphabet. K is basically very bright in terms of education. He's very bright. He's bright as a student. He tops his entire village during an examination and he wants to study further. However, overruled by his strict father, he's very scared to ask for further education once after he tops an examination. His father basically wants his children to be at home, be in the lighthouse, and start taking care of the lighthouse, because if in case the world war hits them, who's going to look after the lighthouse? There's no men around except for the father, and the children are very young. So he wants his sons basically to look after the lighthouse and learn all the necessities just in case if they have to leave in absence of it. Now we follow K's family that includes his elder brother, his sister Fariha. I remember Fariha's name more because I am very drawn to the character. When we talk about all the characters in the book, we see them battling war within themselves through some way or the other. The family basically in this book was never affected by the war, yet their lives went all upside down, topsy-turvy, leaving fragments of existence that you are probably not ready to see. Fred Sunel did an absolutely stunning job. However, I would still say that the book was a little rushed in between. I mean, I do not know if that was the demand of the narrative, but I still feel that if the book was a little longer, probably of 250 pages or something, it would have made one of the most beautiful historical fiction that you will read. And I do recommend it to beginners because historical fiction as such, with this tiny plot, with a story weaved in such a manner that will still make you cry, I feel that there is no other better book that I can recommend beginners who wants to read historical fiction for the very first time. Moving on to the next book, which is The Gentleman from Peru. I have not yet given a full-fledged review on my Instagram of this book, but I did do a one-day reading vlog kind of in my Instagram. If you haven't already seen that, please consider viewing that on my IG. I will link it below in the description. Firstly, let's just take a moment to appreciate the cover, because we genuinely read a book and barely appreciate beautiful cover. I was very much attracted and captivated by the cover of the book and the plot also, because I have not read Call Me By Your Name by the same author, Andre Esmin. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing the name wrong, but yeah, I was very much captivated when this book came out, and I requested for a copy from Penguin, and they very kindly again decided to send this to me. And the moment I received it, I knew that I have to read it immediately, and I did it. I read it immediately. I filmed the entire thing. I read it in one day. This book is basically about a hotel where we see eight friends coming together to spend some time as a vacation. And this gentleman, whose name is Raul, R-A-U-L, Raul, he is one character in the book, or even in the life of these four characters, that they are very much drawn and they keep observing this gentleman, and he is basically alone there, and he will sit alone, he will have his dinner alone, his supper alone. And these 8 friends would always wonder the solitude that the man is living in. They would discuss about this man. They would discuss about how he's sitting alone, how he's eating alone, how he's dressed up like that. It's like vice versa. If they are observing the gentleman is also observing them. Now this man observed that one of the friends was having an issue in the body, basically body ache or something, and the man comes up, and they do not know each other. The man just comes up, he just touches the shoulder of the guy and just counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think backwards, and the pain just goes away. It's like a magic, it's like miracle. And the guy was completely surprised, obviously, because he had been taking a lot of medicines and still he couldn't find a cure to it. But this gentleman from Peru, whose name is Raul, he just counted backwards by touching that one part, and his entire body ache drained down. I will not go much more deeper into the story. But considering the story starts this way, I was expecting that it will be something, mysterious, considering the man was not known to them and so vice versa. But I was not expecting the book to be ending the way it ended. Although it was sad, it was very emotional. I am still not sure how I feel about this book, but it is very easily readable in a day and very lucid also in terms of writing. There are beautiful quotes that I've underlined while I was reading this book, that these quotes actually crawled through my bones. People who really like reading heartwarming books, it is one of those books. But for me, I'm a little doubtful. I don't know. I've still not decided my rating on this one, but yeah, we'll see to that. The third book that I read was Odysseus Beyond Time, The Quest for Element Crystal, and it was sent to me by the author. I do not generally like reading Indian mythology or Indian fantasy for that matter. Not that I have read a lot, but I have never explored a lot of Indian literature, which is a sad thing about myself and probably a red flag too. But when I was sent across this book, I read it in an ebook format, and I was so captivated. Like, it's not a big book, but even if it was a big book, honestly, I would fly through it. It was so damn good. It's a concoction of science fiction, fantasy, spirituality, humanity. It talks about the Indus Valley civilization, which is one of the first civilization in India. It also talks about time travel and all of those things. And I was taken by surprise when I read this book. Honestly, like, you can see my reaction. I was not expecting like an independent author sending me a book would be so damn good. And this one book has basically shaken me up to wake up and to read more Indian books. I think it is time that I give more chances and opportunities to these kinds of books, which has a lot of elements into it that can make your reading experience a wonderful one. So the fourth book that I read was Alphaz versus Albrecht. I'm always confused among the two. When I read the title, I thought that it is a superhero book, like superhero as in like Batman, Superman, which we see to an extent, but the story how it begins is a very different beginning of any book that I have read, and it is basically about a guy who is in a dilemma and who has come to a crossroad when he has to decide on which boat to climb in. Like, there are two different paths. He has to choose just one. The opportunities perhaps will never come back for him to just switch back later. But this is one moment when he has been given two different plates and he has to eat just one food, and that can like lead him to a different circumstances altogether. This book has a lot to do with friendship, like how friends can be so empowering in your life, who can take you places that you have never been to and you can never imagine of being to. The book's title was not very much understood to me when I was offered to read this book by the author. I was like, okay, let me give it a shot. And when I read it, I was like, oh my god. I mean, yes, after a point, the title takes place. The things the title is mentioning do come into existence. But again, like, what is this title? How is it relevant to the initial plot? I was so surprised. I was like, I don't know how it will make sense towards the end, but it does. to an extent, and the story is really nice. It's basically a lot about hope, perseverance, determination. Like if you're very much determined to do what you want to do in life, you will do it, you will make it happen, and all of those things, which was really inspirational and motivational, honestly. The fifth book that I read is Small Things Like This by Claire Kagan. This book is like a warm hug, just 116 pages, and what a magical book. Is it a 5 star? I'm not sure. I'm still thinking about this book, but I do not know. I'm still not sure, but it is definitely a 4.5 so far. I'm still thinking on what to rate this book because I have not yet written a full-fledged review of the book. So the book is basically set in Ireland, and it is about Bill Furlong. Now, Bill Furlong is my favorite character, my new favorite character. He's a married character, so I do not have a crush on him, but I strongly want my husband to be like that. Like Bill Furlong is a family man. He has 5 daughters and a wife, and this is set in Christmas. So I would recommend this book to be read during Christmas because you're going to feel it, the vibe. This book is basically a vibe, and it is not about the plot. For people who likes reading plot oriented stories, I think you will say that you missed out on something in this book and it didn't work for you, considering this is not a plot oriented book, and it is more of a vibe, it is more of a teaching, it is more of more of an impact that it creates on you when you are done reading with it. When I was towards the end, I read this book. I did not underline. There was a beautiful part where I had to underline the part, and I didn't underline, and I just read and got done with it. I closed the book and kept it aside. I just didn't know what to do. I was thinking and just recalculating everything that I read from the very first page till the last, and then I again went back in the evening to, like, went back as in the book, and I reread it and I underlined that part, and I was again thinking. So even till this morning, I was thinking about this book, and it's been like around 2-3 days now that I've read this book. This is one of the rarest books that has made this great of an impact on me. It is actually about all the small things in this world that we abandon or that we ignore, that we just pretend that does not exist and doesn't matter. But ultimately, those are the little things and small things that actually matters in life. So this is I don't know. When I'm speaking about this book, I feel that it's a 5 star. I don't know. Sadly, a very factual book, but a biased book from page 1, which I realized towards the end. So the book I'm talking about is Behold, I Shine by Frenny Manekshaw. I bought this book long back, but yeah, I read it this month. So basically, Frenny Manekshaw is a journalist who is based in Mumbai, who goes to Kashmir and interviews women and children there, how the women and the children suffered in the absence of their father. I have had a lot of questions about this book when I was reading it from page 1. I was constantly writing, why is it like that? Why not this? Why have you decided to interview this woman? And yeah, I mean, this book talks a lot of things about sexual assault that they have been through. Was very prejudiced. So the 7th book that I read was Crooked Seeds by Karen Jennings. Now, I have always wanted to read an island. The moment I saw this book all across Instagram, I was like, I want to read this book because I always wanted to read this author, and I never got my hands on that one due to certain reasons and circumstances. But the moment I got to see this, I requested for a review copy from Pen Macmillan India, and they very kindly sent it to me. This book is basically about Cape Town 2028, and it is about Deirdre Van Deventer. Yeah, Deirdre Van Deventer, who basically is a middle-aged woman who lives alone and constantly keeps on receiving calls from detectives and police officers of South Africa, who calls her to interview her and to tell her about how they have dug up certain body parts from the land that they were residing earlier, which is now taken over by the South African government. They also constantly keep on asking her about her brother, who was most apparently part of the pro-apartheid group in making and creating bombs. South African police now want to dig into her life and see what her past holds. This lady, who is very annoying, very irritating, is reluctant to speak about it, and she claims that she does not know anything about the story, and that is how the story follows. But it is mostly about guilt. It's about family guilt and family power that is now being dug by the police officer. The family is entirely fragmented now, but they are all breaking through the past, all very individually, and they are in their own ways. But we see Deirdre Van Deventer to be one of the most rawest characters and truest to one's self. So, Crooked Seeds by Karen Jennings is a 3.5 star from me. I just feel somehow that African literature do not kind of make any kind of impact on me. It's as if like a one-time read, and I will never want to reread this book again for some weird reason. But honestly, when I was reading this book, I was extremely thirsty throughout. I just wanted to keep drinking water. So if you're planning to read this book, please make sure that you always have water right next to you while you're reading it, because you will want to have water every time. This book is like that. The very last book, but technically the very first book that I picked in the month of May was All That Man Is by David Slay. I'm so sorry for the name. I am very bad with authors' names and I keep butchering them. So I bought this book from a book fair. Considering this book has won the Man Booker Prize 2016, and I have never heard about this book honestly, and I was taken aback by the story and by the plot line. It is basically a collection of short stories that comes up together and merges up to become a one night story towards the end. However, this book was really not helping, and I was crawling towards a reading slump. That is the reason I had to drop it. The stories are very unique in their own ways, and I was really enjoying reading it. But it was basically, it's a slow burner. But at that point, I was not in need of such a book, and I was in a situation where this book couldn't help me a lot, and that is the reason I dropped it and immediately picked Crooked Seeds by Karen Jennings. And this book helped me come back from the almost ongoing reading slump, and it created a barrier between me and the reading slump, and I'm really impressed. However, I don't know if I want to read and go back to this book again, because I'm a little skeptical and scared about how this book is going to treat me. If I ever look for a slow book and I want to very leisurely go through a short story collection, I would probably go back to this book, because this book, I am assuming, has to give a lot towards the end, and it's one of the most unique ways of writing a book. So yeah. And the last book that I wanted to make through towards the end of this month was The Other Valley by Scott Alexander Howard. This is the debut novel. This is a debut novel by Howard, and it is very kindly sent to me by Penguin Random House, for which I'm very grateful. I've just made a progress of around 50 pages, but I couldn't get through this book a lot because it is again a very slow book. But the story is very interesting, because the story is of Odile Ozan. Basically resides in a valley, a very uncanny valley. Basically, if you cross the borders of each of these east and west valleys, then you go 20 years past from west and 20 years ahead from east, from the time that you are currently. So interesting concept, interesting characters, interesting build up also. I am assuming that it's going to be set towards the end, but I'm really enjoying this book so much, and I'm glad that it's slow, because I want to read it slow. I'm going to talk about this book more in the month of June. The last book and the most promising book so far that I have been tackling along with my sister for so long, The Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky. We made a good progress this month, and we have reached till page 856, and we are left with this much of the book, inclusive of the epilogue. And I'm really excited to talk about this book. I want a full dedicated video on this one, because this book cannot, considering this is a big book and it talks a lot about spirituality, psychology, and internal delirium, guilt, and all of these things, I feel that this needs a dedicated video, because a single quote or a 2-minute segment will not fulfill and not do justice to what this book is all about. So far, it is really interesting, really intriguing. The murder has taken place already. We know who the killer is, and it's all coming to a place now. And I could just predict it way prior, when I connected the dots on how this one person is the killer. But I'm glad that it didn't disappoint me even after I could predict the killer. And the writing is very nice. Obviously, it's a classic. Classics is one of my most favorite genres because of the writing, certainly. See, I will definitely make a dedicated video on this one because I want to document this book, and I want to document my thoughts about this book as I'm reading it at this. And if I get a chance to read it, maybe some 20 years down the line, which I don't know if it will happen, but you never know. So then I would like to rewatch this video and check if my thoughts have changed by all these years. But yeah, this is a really good experience, and this is probably one book that you will remember for the rest of your life. So with this, we come to an end towards this video. I have read all these books in this month. Two incomplete books. I'm very certainly getting done with this book in the month of June, and also I'm taking this along in the month of June. So these are the two books that are going to be most hopefully in the June wrap up, and one DNF from this month. I don't know what is wrong, but this year I'm having a DNF from each month, which is good. It tells me that I'm not wasting any of my time and energy into any book that is not keeping me on my toes or giving me anything out of it. I hope you like it. If you do, please consider subscribing to my channel. If you like bookish content, please do hit the like button and the bell icon. And do not forget to comment down below if you've read any of this book, or if you want to recommend me a book that is a must read, because by now you know what my taste is like. And if you have not yet followed me on Instagram, please consider following me on Instagram, or at least give a check on my Instagram account, because I talk a lot about books there as well. Especially, I'm very much active on Instagram. So we'll see you in the next one. Hope you have a very nice day. Thank you so much.